Hello, and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast, your shortcut to various opinions on all things pop culture. This is the episode for the week of August the 29th, 2023. I am David Parker, and I am your host for this week, and joining me is...
Landon Browning.
Wil Dobratz.
And Colby Chapman.
Michael is... I think he's on a date, so he is not here with us tonight.
What?
But maybe next week. Anyway.
Or not.
Or not, yeah, we don't know. We always want to start out with the most interesting topic, which is why we're not going to talk about most of the things that we discussed before recording. But Landon, you joined, was it the 2 Mile High Club?
I believe so. I don't know. Actually, I don't know the feet to miles, but I jumped out of an airplane. I went skydiving on Sunday.
You went skydiving. Where did you go?
The outside.
And if you
of
say the
Ritzville.
air, this is going to be your last episode.
No,
And then he went to the ground.
I think it's called West Plains. I think.
Yeah,
In
that's where
Ritzville?
I went.
Yeah. So like, I've always wanted to go, and then Colby went. Like, what was that? Like 2 years ago. And he said it was amazing. And then Dave, you went like
2 years ago. Yeah, like recently.
I went just a couple months, I think, after Colby. I went on my birthday in 2021. So like, yeah, 2 years ago.
So I went on a first date with a girl, and she told me she'd gone skydiving like 3 times before. And I'm like, that's really cool. I've always wanted to go. And she's like, well, we should like go together at some point. I was like, yeah, we should do that. And then the date went really well. The rest of the date went really well. And I was texting her later. I'm like, hey, like I wasn't joking about like going skydiving. We should do that. And then we kept going on more dates. And then we eventually like actually booked a skydiving date. And we went and did that this Sunday. And it was like the craziest thing like I've ever done in my life. I was so scared. Like, but at the same time, like it was probably, I want to say it was the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever had in my entire life. It's euphoric,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it was euphoric. Like, so we drive out there, and like my nervousness is like, I would say like a 70-30, like excitement to nervousness. And we get there, and then like for some reason they had us get there like 30 minutes before we were like supposed to be there because they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be really hot today. We really want to get people out there. So we got there 30 minutes early, and then we still had to wait like an hour and a half before we went up in the plane. So we're out there and we're like watching. They're like, "I'll go outside and you can watch the people coming down from above." And I'm like watching these people parachute, and I'm like, "Oh man, like that's really high in the sky." And then we go into the hangar, and the people that just landed. In walks like 2 of my old coworkers from Market Equipment. And I'm like, "What are you guys doing here?" They're like, "Oh yeah, we just went skydiving." And it was they like decided to hang out with us there. They're like, we'll hang out and like watch you guys jump. Like they were like just totally down to like wait like an hour. And then the one guy was like, you know what? I want to jump again. So he just walked right back up to like the counter and like he booked another trip and went back up. He went up with
dang.
So that was like super cool. So I got to jump with and she's my girlfriend now, Aubrey. So and then my coworker Matt went up with us. So that was pretty cool. So it was like a surprise second person on the airplane with us. So but like just as I was not getting nervous, like I had the harness on, I was like waiting for the plane to come down for us to go up. And like this like person walks by and they're like, hey, like Barb, the fuel switch for the plane popped off on the last trip up. Like, do you have like a screwdriver that we could like, tighten that back down with? And I'm like, like they just like said that in his passing. I'm like, what? Like, what was that? Like, I'm like, oh no.
Do you think they do that just to mess with people?
I don't know. It looked legit. Like they ran off and came back with a screwdriver and they were like putting it back on the like. It looked like it was like an actual thing. Like, and
do you
I'm
think
like,
they do that to mess with people?
I don't know. It didn't seem like I don't know. But like,
I feel like my first assumption would be like, this is they're trying to screw with people.
I think this is why Landon's going to live longer than Dave. Like,
I'm like more paranoid.
I mean, Landon still went though, didn't he?
I did. So we get in the plane.
What? All it did was contribute to his anxiety.
Yeah, and the whole time, like Aubrey's telling me, she's like, I didn't actually think you were going to do this, and I'm like, I couldn't back out. You know what I mean? Like you talk a big game. You know what I mean? You can't then like not do it. You know what I mean?
Dude,
so,
you were
like,
scoring points with a new girlfriend.
I think I scored a lot of points, if I'm going to be honest. Like she was like, she told me, she's like, I did not actually take you seriously at all. Like until like probably till we actually booked it. She thought I was just like, like people say stuff like, oh, we should totally go do that. And like people don't do it. And I'm like, no, I'm a follow through kind of guy.
No, that's good. I think that's great.
Shows commitment.
Yeah. I think jumping out of a plane is pretty. I feel like that's the level of commitment. So so we get in the plane.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
What?
Keep going.
No,
I was gonna ask how big was the plane that took you up? Like how many passengers were on there that were also jumping?
It was really small. So there was there was one solo jumper and then 3 tandems. So there was 7 people that were jumping, then a pilot. So there's 8 people on the plane. Probably the most rickety looking plane I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, like, this thing was tiny. It was just like a plexiglass roll-up door on the side of it. So we hop in, and the solo jumper's sitting right by the door. And then, so there's like 2 benches, one bench next to the door, and then another bench like on the other side of the plane. So I'm on the other bench, but first up.
Was the door open the whole time, or was it closed?
Nope, they closed it. They closed it before they took off. Like when they taxied, they had it open, and they closed it before they took off.
When on mine, it was one pilot and then just the 2 tandems. So me and my jumper, and then Bree and her jumper. And it was, and like the 4 of us in the back of the plane were like really crammed in there. And I don't even think there was a closable door in the back. Like it was just a big open oval, basically out of the side of the plane, which I actually really liked because the flight up, since it was a small plane with like one prop, it was kind of slow. So it took a long time for us to get up to altitude. Your jumps probably were the same as mine. They're usually about 10,000 to 13,000 feet.
Yeah, we were at 13, I think.
And like it took a long time to get to that elevation. And because of that, like we got a really cool long plane ride where you're just able to basically look out the side of a plane. Like there's nothing there. Like if I wanted to, I could have, rolled out of the plane early.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty much right. I mean, I was about 2 feet from the door but which was plexiglass, so you can completely see out of it. You know what I mean? Like, so we're going up, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I keep looking back at Aubrey and like smiling. And she told me later, she's like, it was like a wave of emotions. Like every time it was like either like a half would change every like 20 seconds. And then I'm also looking back at the ex-coworker I haven't seen in like 4 months, and he just has a goofy smile on his face because like he's still riding the adrenaline rush from like the previous jump. Like, and I paid to have like them like film it basically. So like
Bree and I did the same thing too.
So like, they're like filming us all, like it's pretty great. And like the girl that was my instructor, that was the tandem partner for me, she was like really funny and like doing good banter. Like it was like it was not boring. Like she was like messing with everybody on the plane. Like it was like, you know what I mean, a good environment.
Where's the screwdriver?
Yeah.
So like we're going, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of like, I can feel like I'm wearing like tennis shoes. I can like feel like the cold air like flying through the mesh, and I'm like, all right, I'm sitting there, like we're getting pretty high, and like the instructor like scoots a little closer. She's like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead, and because there's like 4 attachments like to keep you together, like 4 like clip on. I don't think they're quite carabiners, but whatever, you know what I mean, like 4 like 2 at the hip, like 2 at the shoulders. She's like, I'm gonna go ahead and attach this at the hips now. She's like, we're about a quarter of the way up, and I look out the window, and I'm like, oh man, like I thought we were like probably like right there. I thought she was about to say they were gonna like throw the door open, and I'm like, we're a quarter of the way up.
I did the same thing. I looked out the windows, and I was like, I just kind of like felt sick. I was like, I don't think I should have done this, but it was like too late,
Well, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I never had a moment where I was not gonna do it, and that's like 100%.
Well, me neither.
I never had I'm like, I'm not like. And like I told Aubrey, I'm like, I'm not going to back out because I'm like, there's, you know what I mean? I feel like at that point you can't even see me again if I don't jump out of the plane. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, no, I know I wouldn't. I'm like, no, I think I'd probably get you an Uber. You could go home and, like, but I'm like, my main fear in my back of my mind, I'm like, what if I just start like uncontrollably crying? Like, you know what I mean? Like before the plane. Or like for some reason, like we jump and I just like have explosive diarrhea. So like everybody watching, they just see like a breath mist.
Oh my gosh.
That was like my fear. I'm like, I can't have I didn't think that would happen. But I'm like, well, I don't know what's gonna, you know what I mean? Maybe my body has some like horrific reaction. Yeah, like that was like my only fears going up. I'm like, I can't like crap, cry, or like piss myself jump out of the plane. So we get up, and the instructor's like, she's like, when do you want to jump? And I'm like, I kind of want to jump as soon as possible. Like, I'm like, I have to be out of the plane ASAP. Like, I can't be sitting here watching other people jump out of the plane. She's like, all right, well, we're gonna let the solo jumper go first, and then we can go next. And I'm like, perfect. So we get to altitude, and they're like 60 seconds to jump, and it's like, I feel like now I'm out here like Band of Brothers. Like,
it feels like D-Day a little bit.
Go.
And so like they like just throw open this roll open door, and it's just a gush of cold air, and it's like, I'm like, oh my god, like,
and it's so loud.
And it's so loud. So like the instructor's screaming. She's like, all right, once she jumps, we're gonna start scooting forward. Like, and she's like, we're gonna get to the door, and I'm gonna like tap on your shoulder. I want you to look to the left and smile at the camera. And then she's like, and then go. And I'm like, okay.
Did you do the thing where like she has you like roll your legs under the fuselage of the plane?
No,
we're like hanging out of the plane, and then you have your legs underneath.
I was like basically crouched like half my feet off the edge, crouched down. She was standing, and I'm just looking down at like 13,000, just looking straight down like 13,000 feet. And then she taps on my shoulder. I look, and like I'll have to show you guys the video. I mean, like the vein in my forehead is about like looks like it's like exploding out of my forehead. I think I did some finger guns, and then I swear Aubrey told me we were only standing there for like.
You would do finger guns, dude. You're so annoying.
And I swear we were standing on the edge of that plane looking down for like 30 seconds. Aubrey told me, she was like, yeah, you guys were standing there for maybe 5 seconds, and then she just like, you know, we just fall out of the plane.
Roll forward, basically, right?
Yeah, we do this. It's like somersault, basically, and like it's just like this insane feeling. And then like you roll, and then like I'm like, oh, there's the plane. Oh, it's gone. Like,
yeah. Well, I told you guys in Discord.
It's just like, yeah,
that was my favorite moment is when you somersault out of the plane and you're upside down and you see the plane in front of you, but it's going away from you at like just exponential speed, basically. Yeah, and it looks like it's falling away from you just because of how your brain works with frame of reference. Yeah, but then you realize, oh no, like I'm falling, and then that's when you like turn, and then you see the ground, and it's like that feeling was amazing. It was totally worth it.
Like, unparalleled. And then you're just falling at 120 miles an hour. And like she had kept telling me, she's like, you're gonna want to look, like you're not gonna want to look down because like you're not gonna be able to breathe because like the wind, or it's gonna feel like you're not gonna be able to breathe because like we're falling at 120 miles an hour. So she's like, you're gonna want to like look up, almost like have your face, you know, at like a 90-degree angle from like your torso. And so I kept trying to do that, but I still like, I felt like I couldn't breathe, which was like, you know, and then she's like, I hear her like tapping me and doing like, she's trying to like talk, but I'm like, you can't hear anything.
Oh, it's so loud. Like, so loud.
Deafening. I did not, that was something I was not expecting, was how deafening loud it was. And she's like trying to get me to like do stuff in the camera. And I'm like kind of doing like finger guns, but like I probably look like, and like waving and like,
I can just imagine it's just like doing the worst finger guns of all time.
Then, but like the next best moment was like you free fall, and like it was getting to, I was like, I wasn't scared per se, but like there was a little bit of panic. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Because I'm like, I don't feel like I can breathe, and it's been about like 20 seconds of like feeling like I can't breathe, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like, I don't.
Were you breathing? Like, were you trying to breathe?
No, I was trying. No, I was trying to breathe, and then I'm like, I think I'm gonna try to scream. To try to like, and I tried to scream, like nothing came out, and I was like, I wasn't not like a scared scream, but I'm like, I think I'm just gonna try to like make noise to like trigger breathing, and so like that went on for like I don't even know how long because the adrenaline was like going insane, and then like it goes from deafening loud, then like the whoosh and the shoot poles, and it goes to like the most like peaceful,
it's so
quiet.
serene.
Yeah, it goes from like this deafening, like adrenaline rush filled moment to like just like a switch getting flipped to be like, oh, now we're just floating. And then like I just started like, y'all show the video. I just started like screaming, basically. Like that was my gut reaction. I was like, and I mean like happy. Like I was, F yeah. Like, and then they adjusted like the. She's like, you're gonna feel like you're dropping for a second. This is what she told me. I'm like, what? She's like, it's totally normal.
Well, yeah, because they release it so that you're not so close to the other person.
Yeah. Yep. So and then
did she hand you the things? Yeah,
she handed me the things for a little bit, and we did actually a pretty fast spin at one point. I pulled the thing like all the way down, and we did it felt like we did like 4 or 5 barrel rolls is what it felt like we were doing. And
barrel rolls?
That's what it felt like. It wasn't quite that. Like you're just spinning. You're like, look, you know what I mean?
Like a corkscrew.
Yeah, which like you start going fast in the shoot when you start doing that. Like
when you lose control.
And then she took back over and we just coasted the ground and landed. And it was incredible. Like I literally can't recommend it enough to like anybody. Like
I would agree.
It's like I'm definitely doing it again at some point. Like
I'm due for a jump.
I'm due for a jump. Yeah, it was like
the posse goes skydiving. Will?
I would go. Would you do it?
I'm so down. I would do it.
Would you actually?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, Will's in.
No, dude, I'm in. Yeah, it sounds like something I would enjoy.
Yeah,
I have a low key fear of heights, but this might be a good way to get over it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a different. Like, I'm afraid of heights. Like if if it's something that's not controlled, like if I'm like having to climb up like a 30-foot ladder that's not attached, you know what I mean? Like that's more scary than this because I mean it's inherently dangerous, but like you statistically have like a higher chance of dying on the drive out to the place to jump than out of the airplane.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Did you ever get the urge to jump early?
I mean, there's like definitely that intrusive thought to be like they flip like if you were trapped and just dashing and just like diving on the plane with like a chute. That's just like lunatic behavior thinking. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Will's like, do you think you could do it? Will's like, do you think you could?
If you did it, would somebody jump after?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Nobody would do that. Are you insane? Like,
okay.
Well, it's not like the movies, man. Like they're not gonna like get to you. Like. Because like you would throw yourself on the move like plane, and then like you'd be like, oh, this was a mistake, and then you would start flailing. We watched some footage of some of the people that jumped before us, and like the girl, like, because you're supposed to you're supposed to just hold on to your like harness. You're not supposed to do anything until like they tell you to. And the person jumped out of the plane, and like the girl was like immediately just went and grabbed like the instructor's arm, like immediately out of the plane, and almost like it was like right out of the plane. It almost sent them into like an roll out of the plane. And you see the instructor's eyes go like wide, like in the video, like just shut the girl's hand off, basically. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, but the feeling was insane. Like it literally was like it was pretty much probably the biggest high I've ever had in my entire life. Like I can't describe the feeling. Like there's nothing else that compares to it.
No, it's crazy.
Like I thought it would be similar to like a roller coaster, but it was nothing like that. Like
no.
Yeah, it's so different. Well, plus like just the views you get are really cool. Like that's really fun. Yeah. But like the free falling feel that you get, it's unmatched by pretty much anything else. Other things that I've like enjoyed like to an extent that's kind of like extreme things was when I went scuba diving. I really like that also. It's a very different feeling than skydiving, obviously, but it's another one of those that's inherently dangerous. But because of that, it makes it a lot of fun, and it also has gorgeous views. So that's kind of why I equate the two of them, and I enjoyed both of them immensely.
And it's also things that you just shouldn't actually be doing. You know what I mean? It's something like a person shouldn't be doing, right? You know, I think that's probably part of it, right? The part of the appeal. It's like no one should be doing. I think
it's not natural for humans. Yeah.
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 We shake our fists at the sky, become one with the birds. Yeah, so yeah, the instructor we landed. I was like beaming, like the biggest smile I've ever had on my face. And she's like, you're gonna ride that for about an hour, and then she's like, then you're gonna crash, and that was basically it. Like we drove back, and like I basically just like passed out. Like
yeah. As soon as we landed, Bree and I were like, man, we want to do this again. Like that was like
that's what my old coworker was. He was like that was like his 6th jump, I think, but he was basically like, yeah, I want to now. Like.
How much does it cost for him to just like? I mean, I know it's a lot cheaper because he's a solo jumper, but
he wasn't a solo jumper. He wasn't.
He
was in tandem. No, so he just shelled out another couple $100 to go to it.
Holy cow!
He said he's getting his solo license like next year though. And once you get a solo license, I think it's only like $4 per jump. So
man,
there was people just hanging out there that were just like going up. Like they probably doing 3-4 jumps in a day. It seemed like so, but. Because you have to do, like, if you're going to be, like, an instructor, you have to do, like, I think you have to do, like...
You have to have so many jumps.
I think it's 500 jumps in, like, a 5-year span to become, like, to be able to have somebody... I think it's to be able to have somebody tandem with. You have to do 500 jumps in 5 years. So, which is a lot.
I would love to do it solo. I would have no interest in ever tandeming somebody.
Yeah, me neither.
Would you say that?
Oh, you wouldn't want to have somebody strapped to you? You wouldn't want to have some, like... Yeah.
No.
You want to have some rando. You don't want to have some rando.
What if it was me? What if you went skydiving and I was
the instructor, or I was the jumper, and then you were my passenger? No, I don't think there is. No.
I actually, to be honest, I think I would rather have somebody that like I didn't know as opposed to like somebody like I can't, like if that kind of makes. I don't know. Like what?
Oh man. You're saying you don't want to walk in the room, Colby, and the stupid mustache, and be like, "What's up?
Yeah.
Who's ready to jump?"
I feel the need for speed.
Yeah. What?
Oh, it's what Goose and Maverick do after.
Oh yeah.
After that line is said, Top Gun.
Yeah. So I did my cool thing. So I told Aubrey I need to do one really cool thing with her before I have like my stupid hip surgery, which is tomorrow, and I can't do anything cool for like
6 weeks.
Well, I probably can't do anything like crazy for several months would be my guess. But
your house will be a living hell.
Well, you live a pretty boring lifestyle anyway. So
The guy just said that he goes
He jumps out
skydiving
of
on
an
the
airplane.
weekends. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm like. I've just discovered that I used to think don't think I'm
Not anymore.
boring anymore. I actually don't think I'm boring. Like, so.
yeah, the rest of us don't think you're boring either, Landon. So you also I guess touched on it a little bit, but you can talk as much as you like. But you are now dating someone.
Yeah, Aubrey. Yeah, so we've gone out I think we've been going out for I'm trying to remember when the first date was. It was I think it was over a month ago at this point. So, and then Saturday we were hanging out before skydiving, and we basically you can kind of tell, you know what I mean? When you can kind of tell someone, you're like, yeah, this is let's make this an official thing. So at that point we're just became an item. So get rid of all the stupid dating apps. Very
Congrats.
happy. She's awesome. Everybody met her actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I did not.
she was
meet
brave
her.
enough to meet, except for you, Dave.
Yeah.
So
The pains
I've
of
met a
living
bunch
away.
yeah, which I was okay with her meeting everybody. I felt a little bad that was everybody at once, but I met a bunch of her. I met two of her coworkers on the third date, and then I met maybe 15 more of them on our fourth or fifth date.
15.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
cow.
fair.
What were you doing?
So, she invited me
fair.
to her work. She's a flight nurse, so they put her work put on a little one of those Lake Coeur d'Alene cruises where they get the little boat and you go around. So it was a work party for them, and she invited me to be a plus one. So I met a bunch of her. There are a lot of her coworkers that were friends, so coworkers and friends at the same time.
That sounds fun. How was the cruise?
It was really fun. So it was a little smoky still, or it was kind of dark out and rainy. So it was the views were meh, but the conversations were great. Her coworkers and friends are awesome. So
I imagine too, the weather wasn't probably too hot.
no, it wasn't. It was perfect. So it was in the evening. It was I think it was 6 o'clock was when the boat left. So or
Did you
ship. I don't know.
Did you see
How big does
Tony
it have
out
to be?
there?
I did not see
Yeah,
Tony.
you see Tony?
We almost went to
The
one of the bars
coolest
though that you
man.
went to. We almost went to one of the bars that Colby went to afterwards.
Beacon?
Though, but we almost went to the Beacon, but people were hungry, so
I
we went
bet
to.
that's where I met Tony. Was at the beach.
Yeah, instead we went to Capone's and hung out there for.
Rumor has it he's still there.
Oh, yeah. So they were all cool. So yeah, we really get along. Yeah, I could gush about it. It's just gonna get sappy, but
Okay, well,
really happy.
Well, it was fun to hear about the skydiving. It was a lot of fun. I think Colby probably would attest to it. Will, I think all three of us would highly recommend going at some point. Maybe we should do a posse jump at some point. That would be really fun. But also glad you're in a relationship, Landon.
Yeah, it's I can just keep
It's
guessing,
nice.
but, yeah.
It feels good.
It's a really good feeling. Feels good. Oh, really good.
Colby, you've been
You've been really good.
I'm sorry. I told you it sounds stupid. I've been. It's the happiest I've been in
Hey, you can
over
cry
a
if you'd
long
like. It's all right.
Congratulations.
We're all
I'm
friends.
not gonna
here.
cry. I'm not gonna cry on the show again.
We're really happy for you.
That doesn't sound very sincere.
No, we're seriously, we're happy for you.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah.
I wish listeners
of
could
course.
see what
Will smug look.
Will smug look, but also
kick-
the way
just
he's
kick
sitting
his foot,
and his
put your
foot
leg down.
like positioned out towards Landon.
So-
Colby's been traveling a
talent.
lot for work and stuff, but you got you went to some concert, right?
Yes. Last weekend, so a couple days ago, I was in Seattle with a couple friends, and I went and saw Drake and 21 Savage were the artists. Drake, this was huge for me. I don't think you guys listen to Drake. Will, I think knows a couple of his songs, but I think Will can attest like a generational talent as far as he's I don't know, maybe I'll get hate for this, but I think
I've
a good
never
way
heard
to stop. I think a good way to describe just how big he is he's like modern day Michael Jackson or something. You know what I mean? Generational talent. Everybody knows
are all
he's
the
a
comps
household
there?
name.
I was gonna.
Weren't there allegations with Millie Bobby Brown?
Rumors,
I was gonna
probably.
ask.
I don't know.
I was gonna ask
I
Drake.
don't know.
He's
I
the-
don't know Drake.
He's one of the ones
Rumors.
that's
No, all
an
true.
alleged molester, right?
I don't know Drake personally. Okay.
I didn't ask if he molested you. Okay.
Well, he didn't, so stop asking. But the concert
Yeah,
was
I probably wouldn't give him my money.
I've never been general admission before. So
What does that mean?
That's like floor tickets, like in like the pit, I guess you could call it. This was at Climate Pledge Arena, and we showed up at like 6:30 in the morning, I think 7:30 in the morning, and we all got wristbands that we were able to come back because we were like the first 500 people in line. So we were able to like basically these wristbands were line savers, and so we didn't have to camp out all day for good, like, you know, a good spot in line. And then we got in. I was probably like we all got split up because we like went through security, and there was a bunch of different lines and everything. So we all get split up, and I was probably the like 100th person in or something like that, and rushed. And so I got like front row for the group. So there was nobody in between like the stage and I, which was really cool because there was a lot of like I said, I've never had general admission, so I've never been so close to somebody like that. And if you've been to a concert, I think you could understand that there's almost like a weird surreal feeling of like, oh, like that's just like another person. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of like cool moments where he was like pointing at me or made eye contact with me, and it just like, you know, like it's like I said, one of those surreal moments where it's like he's just another person, but he's also so big in like the, I don't know, like culture. So it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Sounds like a good time.
Who was the other
wish I was
person?
invited.
21 Savage?
Yeah, 21 Savage.
I've heard of him, I think.
Yeah, they have songs together. They have an album together.
Well,
I think that's probably why.
So did you go to Seattle just for the concert then, or were you also there for work?
No, just for the concert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man. You've been all over lately. You are currently like a couple hours away from me right now.
Yep.
Yeah, you're in what, Palm Springs?
Yeah, and it's like way too hot outside. It's like it was 120 degrees today.
Yeah.
So that was horrible. But yeah, no, it'll be cool. I've been traveling a lot, but like you said, we'll hang out this weekend. I think I should probably be in Lancaster tomorrow, and then yeah.
I'm excited to hang out with Colby and then watch him get sunburned, because it probably will only take like 10 to 15 minutes.
Dude,
he can't help it. He would have to have like a device built in to like be constantly applying sunscreen to like not burn.
Dude, it's at this point a disability. I'm at such a disadvantage. I was in LA.
Are you claiming disability status because you get sunburned every?
Because he's white. He's like, oh, I'm oppressed by the sun because I'm white.
I am. Will, you don't get it, dude. Walk a mile in my skin.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not a true white man, Will. Not like Colby.
Yeah. So I was in LA a couple weeks ago, and I was just on the beach, and I applied sunscreen multiple times, and I was only out there for about 3 hours, and I got one of the worst sunburns I've ever had on my back. It is so bad. It's been almost 2 weeks, and I'm still peeling. Like it's horrible.
What SPF you rocking?
50.
Dang.
Yeah, it's. I don't play around.
More.
With this. I was the only one in the group. I was the only one in the group putting on sunscreen, and it's at this point like it's just embarrassing. Like,
we've been meaning to talk to you.
So yeah, if you want to make fun of me when I get sunburnt in 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure I got sunburnt through my work shirt today. I'm pretty sure my back got like reburned. I'm pretty sure my back. I was like on the roof for like an hour, and I had sunscreen on, but obviously I didn't put any on my back because I was wearing a shirt. And then I got inside, and I was like, wow, my back is like really hot.
Does cotton protect from UV rays?
No, I think it's a polyester polo.
Oh,
I think this.
Then Google says yes.
Yeah. So if you want to make fun of me this weekend, go ahead.
I probably will. We're gonna go to Six Flags. So we're gonna do like a bunch of roller coasters.
What'd you say?
I'm excited because I've never been to. I don't think I've ever been to any Six Flags. I love roller coasters a lot.
I haven't either.
So I'm excited because that's basically all it is.
Yeah. No, I also have never been to any Six Flags, and I have a new love for roller coasters because growing up around Silverwood, those are scary roller coasters because
those are fine.
You're not. Well, you know you're
They're a
gonna
little
live,
rickety.
but like
They're a little rickety.
rickety, yeah. And
Nobody's
then I
died.
went to.
On
I
record.
don't. Is that true? I don't know
Wait,
if that's true.
Will, are you insinuating that they've covered up deaths at Silverwood?
Theme Park Silverwood.
Listen, if they have, we wouldn't know about it, so they could. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh!
You don't die if you don't actually die on park grounds. You know, it's not a
Yeah.
You ever heard of the person that got flung out of okay, one of the roller coasters is on the edge of the property line, pretty much. So just want to put that out there.
Got flung out. That's not real.
Everyone put on your tin foil
going
hat.
up.
Yeah.
That's like that story your uncle tells you, like when you're standing in line when you're 7, and like for you believe it for like 10 years. Like you're like, yeah. There's actually someone got flung out of the road.
Dude, no.
Will's like, my uncle lied to me.
Yeah. But ever since I went to Disneyland for the first time, I was like, oh, roller coasters are like actually really fun when they're smooth and they don't like give you a headache or
That's part of the
they
fun.
give you they give you adrenaline, but they don't give you like an actual fear of dying. They're way cooler. So
You don't
I'm
like
excited.
having your head ping ponged off the thing on corkscrew. Like,
No, I'm not a huge fan. So yeah, I am excited.
It's going to be Labor Day weekend though, so it might be kind of busy and hot, but we'll see. There's a lot
Might
of
be the
stuff to do
busiest
in Southern
weekend.
California, so
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah, I'm excited. I always like seeing my friends.
Dave, I don't think you and I have ever hung out one-on-one.
What? Ever?
you totally.
What are you talking about?
Maybe when I was like 13.
I mean,
Wait, what?
we hung out. Oh, wait, do you mean like just you
How
and
old
just
were you,
me,
Dave?
or like?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Or
do you mean like
19?
well, like we
used to
hung
go play
out?
janitors.
Was it December or January? Like we had dinner together. Does that not count because there were like partners there? Do you want to hang?
Oh,
out?
I forgot about that. Yeah, no, I saw you.
Yeah.
I saw you here.
Dude,
Shows how much Colby really
Colby's a liar
cares.
with his memory. He can't remember anything.
Yeah.
He's fake.
Gosh, dang.
I've always known Colby was faking it.
That's not true. It's not true. Yeah, no, we totally did. go
Colby when his
together.
mustache falls off.
It's like a plot.
It's real, man. No, it's real.
The spirit
women love
gum
it.
is loosening.
love it.
I mean, but they're right. It would have been weird if I was like hanging out with you one-on-one when I lived in Spokane because you would have been a child. So, like, I'm glad
Yeah.
that we haven't really done that. So,
I'm glad you.
I don't want to be a Drake over here. Like,
Yeah.
Dave, didn't I hang out with you when I was like, I don't know, still in high school and you were in college?
I don't think I really ever hung out with you actually before I moved.
Well, that hurts.
It's true. I see.
No,
you.
I'm just saying I don't think we did. Like,
I was like sitting in your room playing Call of Duty for like hours while you were like on your computer once.
Oh yeah.
I do not
Tell us
remember that.
more.
Were you playing with Ben?
Dang.
Is that when Ben lived?
Oh yeah, Ben also lived there, I think too.
Because it could have been like, because Ben would like play video games in my room, and I would be like doing stuff on my computer. Were you over at the same time or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But yeah, there's
I'm
a night
sorry I don't
where
remember
you-
those formative memories of yours, Will.
Listen,
Will's like,
are
those
some
meant
good
so
times.
much to me. Like, oh, I get to hang out with David. And
we were
David's like,
playing
I don't
in-
remember.
Yeah, exactly. It was you, Ben, and I. And we were playing Infected on Modern Warfare 3 till 5 a.m. in the morning. It was
dude.
so much fun.
Infected's scary.
Wait, which one was
It's awesome.
Which one was infected again? Is that the? Oh,
It's like one person starts as the
The dude with the knife.
dude with the knife, and then
each time you knife
you
somebody.
kill each
you
time you
played
knife
that
somebody. You
split
get,
screen with 3 people.
no. So what happened was, there was a PlayStation out in the living room, and there was a PlayStation in your room, and you were in your room, and you were playing, and it was us 3 in a party. And there was Modern Warfare 3 has 2-player split screen online. So Ben and I were out in the living room on Michael's account, and you were in your room on your account, and we partied up and we were finding games together with just us 3. It
So
was
would
really
we
fun.
swap
It
out?
was
So like
online.
if someone was infected, they would use. Well, I guess no, because we're playing online. And
No,
there
yeah,
could be like
because we
a
were
bunch
playing
of people.
online. There was like, it was a full lobby every time. It was
Dang.
super fun.
Well, I'm sorry I don't remember that very well. Will.
No, it was really fun. Yeah, it's okay. You know?
Dave also has a bad memory with his friends. So
Yeah.
Hey, I'm an old
I
man.
do feel like
you know.
Dave and I, our relationship has only grown since he moved away.
I actually feel like that's
Probably
true for all of us.
That's
Probably.
true for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't try to be special, Colby. Like, Dave's gotten closer to each and every single one of us.
Distance makes the heart grow. Oh yeah, are you gonna go see him? In
He's
LA?
controlled us from afar.
Listen, if I had a job that took me to LA, I'd totally see Dave. Forget about it.
I walked here, man. I took vacation for this.
You can't keep saying
I'm here to
that.
see.
No one's
Okay.
believing you.
That's a straight up lie, dude.
No.
Okay.
Whatever.
I have not watched this yet, Will, so I'm sorry. But I haven't watched it because I haven't played the game. But you released your
No, you're good.
your
You're
Firewatch
good.
video.
I did release my Firewatch video. Yeah, it's came out I think on Saturday, so it was about 3 or 4 days ago. 3 days ago exactly.
How much can you
Around
talk
2:30
about it
PM.
without spoiling the game? Because I do want to play it, but I also don't want the game.
So
spoiled.
the first half of the video goes over the gameplay and the story is generally like. Then the second half goes into specific spoilers about the ending and what I think of the ending. The first half you can kind of watch spoiler free. The second half just spoils the entire thing. In fact, at a point in the video, I say, if you haven't played the game, stop the video and go play it now, or you're going to get spoiled. Because I think it is a game to best experience for the first time blind.
Yeah.
It came out on Saturday, and it spoils the game entirely. And go watch it if you haven't. YouTube Mokebone. It's on a pretty old game, so if you don't ever plan on playing Firewatch, one, I highly recommend you actually do. It goes on sale for like $5 every 3 or 4 months, so you could wait it out. Or it's only $20. Support the developers, buy it.
Is
right,
it like an
$20.
It's for $20.
adventure game or
It's pretty
Kinda
much
walking simulator-esque.
Yeah.
okay?
But
You kind of so the main gameplay is just walking around and radioing your boss about things you see or stuff you encounter.
Because you
And
are you're like the ranger of a fire watchtower, right, in the forest.
Yes, and you have multiple dialogue options and stuff like that. So,
it's really, I liked it quite a bit.
yeah, I would highly recommend you guys play it again or play it before watching. It's a super fun game. It's super short too. It took me 3.5 hours to replay it. So it's
Was that on easy or normal, hard?
on the hardest difficulty, nightmare mode. The dialogue
Ultra
options
fire?
are hard to pick.
Yeah.
It randomizes the input every single time.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. I don't have much more I want to say about it that I don't say in the video.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to play it. I'm gonna try to get it. I'm trying to try to play through it again by the end of the week, and then I'll watch the video.
Yeah. One thing I will say, though, it feels good to get a video finally out there. I had some testing I was doing for some stuff that I had that took me away from it because I started the video back in actually January, and I stopped it stopped working on it in February, and then I finally picked back up again on it in July. So
You got it out pretty fast, then. It's considering
Yeah.
you did most of the work on the back end.
yeah, I did most of the work on the back end, but by the time I had it, I started working on it again in July. I had already played the game and recorded all of it. It helps it's only a 3.5 game and written the entire script too. So I think this is the first script that I haven't sent you, Dave.
Yeah, you didn't
read
send
it.
this. I didn't proofread this one or send back any notes.
This is the first one you haven't proofread. The only proofreading that was done for this video was my dad listening to a finished version of the entire video. That was pretty much. I only did a few edits. So actually, Dave, I'm really excited for you to watch this because I think it's going to show my growth as a writer.
No, that's
Because
cool.
I
I'm
was
excited.
more confident in this script than I was in the past couple scripts. It might not be as good of a video for a couple reasons I would like to talk about once everybody's seen the video. But because I do have some, not regrets, but like things I think if somebody were to play the game and talk to me about, I might reconsider, or I might see where a person of a different opinion was coming from.
Oh, but it's your opinion, though, right? Same time, you know
Right.
what I mean?
It's my opinion, and I totally own it. But it's more like, I can see. It's the classic like, I can see where you're coming from, kind of thing, is what I'm trying to get at. And because it's not cut and dry. The weird thing about the game is it's not cut and dry. Or at least I thought the game wasn't cut or dry, good or bad. Like it was high quality in a lot. The ending is just very. It's very interesting, and I hope you play it. So, and I hope you watch the video. So, yeah. But I'm excited for you to watch it, Dave. It'll show my growth as a. Any idea when you're gonna play the game, or are you gonna wait for it to go on sale, or?
It's such a cheapo.
I probably will wait for it
Yeah.
to go on sale, but I have
You're
I
such
have
a
it
cheapo,
I have
dude.
it I have it on I think Steam and PlayStation in both of those wish lists. So I'll get an email when it goes on sale, and then
You can't just spend the $20. Like,
why are you trying to guilt me into? Why are you trying to guilt me into spending? Landon, you're the one that's like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to buy games at full price anymore.
I bought that game at full price when it came out.
Yeah, that's back when you paid full price for games, but now you've seen the light. Did you pay full price for Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I did actually. Yeah.
You and Will have played it, right?
Colby bought it.
Colby
and
too.
Oliver.
What? So
you should buy it.
It's like a Friday the 13th.
$40. You can buy that, and the price of a normal game. So
hey, I'm trying to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not talk about buying Texas Chainsaw.
Okay, whatever, man. If you want, yeah, whatever.
So it's like Friday the 13th, right? It's like a asymmetrical, I guess, multiplayer, antagonistic game.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's a little different because it's not stacked heavily in the killer's favor. Like, it's a 4v3, so 3 killers versus survivors.
So the killers are just slightly more powerful?
They're way more, I would say they're way more powerful. I mean, like, you can't fight back.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, I feel like it's maybe easier to escape, maybe? Like, you're not super OP. You know, as like Jason in Friday the 13th, like, you are like, you know what I mean? I feel like the OP level is like insane. I guess it's easier to escape by yourself. Like, you don't have to, which maybe this is a bad thing, but like, I feel like you can solo escape as a survivor, like, as opposed to like Friday the 13th, like, it's like really imperative. I feel like that you have, like, if you want to make it out in the car, like, you're probably going to need a couple people to help you. You know what I mean? Because like, the odds that you're going to be able to go get the keys, the battery, and the gas all by yourself.
Wait, was this made by the same people that did Friday the 13th?
Yeah, it's the same people. Yeah, it's the same people. That's why I bought it, to support them, because they got screwed.
Yeah, they got
by like the stupid.
Yeah, they got screwed because of the whole like licensing stuff with Friday the 13th, which is unfortunate.
So I mean, it's just a guy like me that just
to support independent
developers. I was like, of course I'll throw them a few bucks. I mean, what's $40? Really, I'm not in a day. You know, I mean,
I bet it fed some of the developers.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
I'll see when I get a reply back, a letter. I wrote them a handwritten letter. Yeah, congratulating them on their books.
All right, that's enough.
But yeah.
But Dave's like, no, I'll wait till they lose the license, then I'll buy the game. I'll wait till they're screwed.
Dude, hey, I'm with Dave on waiting to buy Firewatch till it goes on sale. There's no rush.
Will's like, but my video.
Now I did.
You want to help Will's video get traffic?
It's okay. I mean, it's not going anywhere.
I did.
I see how it is. Someone like me that already owns the game, you know, I'm just standing.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say, Landon. Someone who already has the game,
that bought the game like 8 years ago, whatever.
It came out in 2016. Dang.
I bought it the day it came out.
I do remember people talking about this game, and people were excited about this game. Was there something? What was it about this game that made you buy it day one?
There's a lot of hype behind it.
It was a lot of hype.
It was in the early days of Walking Simulator. Like, it was like one of the first like bigger.
Was that like what Edith Finch and the like Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, like those kind of games?
Yeah, Edith Finch is. I didn't finish Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. Gone Home is also good. That's another walking simulator, pretty much. But it's right around that kind of golden era of indie games. I mean, I think there was in the mid to late it was around 2016, 2017. It's like there was like it felt like an indie game renaissance, right? Of like there was Firewatch. I think Ori came out in 2017 as well. I think Night in the Woods was also 2017 or 18.
What was like Hollow Knight?
Hollow Knight, I think was also around that time. Yeah, February 2017. Yeah, so a bunch of stuff came out in 2016, 2017, and Firewatch was right at the beginning of that. And it felt like not only was the hype there, the trailer was really well done in that it created a huge era of mystery. You know, like I remember watching it at E3 and play that game.
Yep.
And when you it felt like there was a serious lack of like true mystery games, and the setting was super eerie too, you know, out in the woods, and it looked good, and it still looks really good. So just a combination of a lot of things that was like, okay. And also it was only like $20 at release still too, so it was just kind of like, oh, easy buy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was one of the first games I bought on a PS4. I think
it was for me too. Either that or I bought it on computer. Which, if that's the case, I'll just buy it again at full price on my PlayStation.
Yeah,
or I'll just play it. I could just play it again on my computer.
Yeah, you do have a better computer now than back then. So
back then my computer was actually probably pretty good.
Probably pretty good. Yeah.
The game I really want to play.
Yeah, get old.
Always been hurt.
Sorry,
You can mute your mic if you're gonna wolf candy down.
Like, and I can't mute Colby without me. So
I'm sorry.
I can't mute Dave's
I didn't know that you guys
intelligible.
could hear that.
I wanted to say, I'm sorry.
I can't mute Dave without having like fucking Skittles muncher over.
They're sour skills too. They're just so good. I'm sorry.
The game I really want to play is Outer Wilds.
Oh, I've wanted.
Yes,
to play that
I have that. It's good.
It's one of those games I heard like you need to know nothing about it basically, but you have to play it. And so
Yes,
I don't own the game, like, and I can't decide if I want to play it on PlayStation or if I want to play it on the computer. But that's a game that like I'm basically waiting for that to go on sale. And the next time that goes on sale, I'll buy that one.
Yeah. There's something special about those kind of independent games that really hit. There's like Dave, you just finished Subnautica, right?
Yes, I just beat Subnautica last week, and that was a game that Ben had told him. Oh, I was aware of the game, but I didn't really know much about it. And then it was a couple of years ago, Ben talked to me about the game, and then he share played the game, so I watched him play for a while. And I was like, man, this game looks really cool. And then I picked it up when it was on sale, and I played maybe like 4 or 5 hours or something, and I basically hadn't touched it for a couple of years. And then like a month ago, I was kind of just looking through my Steam list. I still had it installed on my computer, so I was like, I'll just start playing it for a while and see if I enjoy it. And it clicked kind of like within the next hour or two, and then I was basically hooked. That was like at the same time. It was at the same time that Baldur's Gate came out, so like I wasn't playing Baldur's Gate because I was too hooked on Subnautica. So actually, just a couple days ago, I started playing Baldur's Gate again because I beat Subnautica.
Yeah, I got the notification that you were playing Baldur's Gate on Steam, and then went right back to Cookie Clicker, and then Baldur's Gate again. So fix your Steam account, man. It's driving me crazy. I'm like editing my video. Cookie Clicker, Witcher 2, Cookie Clicker, Witcher 2. It's like switching back and forth. I'm like, this is insane.
I've had that happen with other people too, like where I get constant notifications about like something Jesse's playing, but it's like it keeps switching back and forth, or it's like, to me it looks like he's opening the game, closing it, opening the game, closing it, but I know that's not what he's doing because I've asked him before and he's been like, no, I'm doing something completely different. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you if like that like the same thing happens with me for Will?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd believe Jesse.
Wow. But Subnautica, I really enjoyed. That's another game I would say don't go into it knowing too much because there is a story there, and it is kind of fun to unearth that as you're playing. But I talked about it, I think last week or not 2 weeks. I talked about it 2 weeks ago. We didn't record last week. But it's like if you like base building, it's really fun. If you like exploring and adventuring, it's really fun. If you're afraid of the water, it's fun because it's scary. So I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'll give it a second chance. I played it once.
Will watched the Joseph Anderson video and he was like, "Oh, no. Guess I can't like this now." Because
here's the thing.
He said some negative things about the game, so I can't like it.
I haven't even seen the video, if I'm going to be honest.
I mean, he had some positives, but he also had some negatives.
I haven't seen that one.
I wouldn't watch it. I would wait until you beat the game to watch the video.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Survival is not my favorite genre. In fact, it's one of my least favorite genres of game. Is survival.
I also don't really like survival games.
Okay,
but I love Subnautica.
Because it's just, for me, the survival games, they're just too dependent on extraneous circumstance. Does that make sense? So, I'm running out of oxygen. I have to find oxygen. I'm running out of health. Like, this constant draining of resources is something that doesn't thrill me for whatever reason.
You can play Subnautica there's different difficulties where, like, the hardest difficulty has permadeath. You have to worry about oxygen. You have to worry about food. You have to worry about water. I played on the next difficulty from that, so I had everything to worry about, except there was no permadeath. And I died, I think, maybe 3 times throughout the whole game.
Because you were so scared of dying.
Yes, because I was so scared of dying.
Save scummer.
But it made the deaths terrifying.
Yeah.
They are memorable. I said there are 3 deaths because I remember every single
Each
one.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I also beat the first Witcher game, which I started maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and that was another one.
Going to your Witcher? Well,
yes.
You're funny.
Well, it's funny. Like when I initially played the first game, I got through basically so there's 5 acts in the game and an epilogue, and I got halfway through the 4th act of the game. So I beat most of the game essentially, and I was enjoying it at the time, but I think I just got distracted with like other games or other things or whatever, and then I basically didn't touch the game for like a year and a half. So I got back into it after I beat Subnautica, and since I didn't have much of the game left, it only took me like 3 days to beat the game. Did you watch The Witcher? So to talk about Joseph Anderson again, Will, did you watch his Witcher 1 video?
Yes, I did watch his Witcher 1 video.
Okay,
I think I either finished all the way through or got 3/4 through the way through one of those two.
So Joseph Anderson, he's a YouTuber who does these very long like video game critiques basically, who is I think probably a big inspiration for Will and the videos he makes. But I think he has very good insight for a lot of this stuff. He's very easy to listen to, and I think he has like good valid opinion on most things. So
it helps.
I do like his videos quite a bit.
Yeah, his Witcher 1 video is 4 hours and 8 minutes long. So,
oh my god!
You should watch that one.
I'll say that again.
It's 4 hours and 18 minutes.
No,
long.
I don't think so.
His Witcher 2 video is even longer. 2,
so the Witcher 3 video, which is supposed to come out, I don't think it ever will. It's going to be over 7 hours, I think.
What?
Or 8 hours. Yeah.
No.
Just because there's so much. Because he covers the entire game, all of its possibilities, right? You have to go through the different possibilities. You also have to do Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone.
I never played the DLC.
And if Witcher 2
I cannot believe
was
you never
5
played
hours
the DLC.
long.
It's like Blood and Wine has the prettiest parts of the game, and what is it? Stone.
Hearts of Stone.
Hearts of Stone has, I think, the best story.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've told you that before. But have you
said
played the
Blood
DLC?
and Wine had the best story too.
No, Blood and Wine story is really good. What is it? Heart and Stone or Heart of Stone? I should know because I really liked the DLC a lot.
You really clearly don't know it that well.
Well, okay. Do you remember Gaunter O'Dim from the 3rd game? You meet him like at the very beginning of Witcher 3. He's like some magician guy.
Heart of Stone.
Heart of Stone.
I'm trying. Man, it's been so long since I played that game.
Anyway, so to go back, I guess to Joseph Anderson's video and Witcher 1. So he's like a huge Witcher nut. I think he read all the books multiple times in like preparation for doing the videos. I also read all the books last year, and it made me like appreciate the games a lot more. So I really liked the first game. The combat is really weird though. It's more like a rhythm game. It does not feel like an action combat system. You basically have to watch the screen and then click in certain rhythm based off if you're using heavy attacks or light attacks. But then also you have like the steel sword or your the silver sword. And then there's a fast attack system, a heavy attack system, and then a group attack system based off of how many people you're fighting. So you can change up those stances, I think is what they're called in the game. But the combat, not really very interesting. Also, there's a point where you can like upgrade Ard enough. Ard is your like pushing air magic.
Yeah.
And so if you like level things right in that, which I did, you basically can stun an enemy and then just kill them with one stroke of your sword. So most of the combat, like past, I think like Act 3, is fairly trivial. And then you get to like some like weirdly difficult boss fights that you can't do that in, and you're like, oh, I guess I have to actually try now. But overall, I really like the story, but it has some like really weird stilted dialogue. The voice actors, I would say, it's not quite like, early Resident Evil, but it's definitely not Witcher 3. It's somewhere in between. Geralt's voice actor, I think, is the best in the game, but he seems so out of place to me with everyone he's talking to for the most part, because he just seems like a much better voice actor. And
it's funny.
And it's funny. So like there's many moments of the game that are supposed to be like, I think you're supposed to have more of an impact on you, but because of the way the NPCs deliver their dialogue and then the way that Geralt's voice actor responds, it just ends up being funny. Also, there's like, they reuse certain snippets of dialogue. One they have is Geralt going, mm-hmm. And it'll come after like someone will give like a really long like explanation of something that happened, and then it cuts to like the stilted character of Geralt standing there, and he just goes, mm-hmm. And every time it happened, I would just be laughing, and like I'm trying to figure out if it was supposed to be funny or if it was supposed to be serious or what. So like part of that experience, like I enjoyed that experience. I wouldn't say it was like necessarily the best presentation for what they were trying to get across for the story, but like the side quests were really good. I'd say even the main quest was really good. I like if you liked Witcher 3 story and like kind of like the struggle of, you know, destiny and what is right and what is wrong. It does a lot of that as well. It's just much more, I guess, rough in this game. So they are remaking the first game. I'm excited for that. I think I will probably play the remake because I enjoyed the first game, but I am excited to play it and then have it be more of a, I guess, full-fleshed kind of, or like full-fleshed out, I guess, Witcher experience. Something that feels a lot more like The Witcher 3. I started The Witcher 2, I think the next day after I beat The Witcher 1, and like right away, like the voice acting was probably like 5 to 10 times better. Like the character animations, just it was a lot better. So Witcher 1 really good, but I think too dated, and it's goofy. It's like really goofy. But like you could probably play through the story pretty quickly. But if you play through the story really fast, you're gonna miss all the side quests, which I think are some of the best parts of the game. So
anyway. I never played any of the first one. I played like probably 5 or 6 hours with The Witcher 2, I think.
Yeah. I started The Witcher 2, but I was having some technical difficulties with my computer. I'm playing on an ultra widescreen, and I think that's causing some problems. So I had to like use some mods basically to make the game be able to work for me because I was getting weird lag, and once I fixed the lag, it caused like screen tearing, and I'm like, gosh, this is such a pain.
Oh, screen tearing's the worst.
That's pretty bad.
I can't.
I was maybe willing to go back.
Guy. I can't.
I was maybe willing to go back to input lag on my mouse over dealing with screen tearing because
that's nuts.
But I was able to fix it. So I like now it's like it's playable. But the problem is I spent like one evening doing that so much that like the next day I was like I do not feel like playing this game. So the next day
I get that.
the day after that I started Witcher 2 and I was like, oh okay, I'm enjoying this. I think I'm going to be able to play through this game. I've heard that game is really short though. So
Witcher 2?
Yeah. Which I think is fine because, if you know about, I guess, Witcher 3 or Witcher 1, essentially in the second game, you either follow the Temerians. Do you remember Vernon Roach from the third game?
Do I remember Vernon Roach? My man.
He's basically like,
my man.
like the head of the Secret Service of the Temerians, who is one of the kingdoms.
He bad AF, dog.
Yeah, he's really cool. Anyway, so like in the game, you either follow him or you follow Scoia'tael leader, who's basically like an elf terrorist, right? Basically.
Yeah. F them, man.
I don't know. Play through the first game, I actually sided with the Scoia'tael. So, also one thing I wanted to do, because I've never done this before, and The Witcher is one of those franchises that allows you to do this, is you can carry saves over. And like Mass Effect, you can do that. You know, these games, there's a lot of games where you can do that, but I've never done that before. I wanted to do that with these games on PC, which is one reason I'm playing all of them on the computer. So I want to, at some point, finish The Witcher 2 and carry that save over to The Witcher 3 so I can really have like a through line of all this. So I'm excited to see the decisions I made in the first game, how they carry over to the second game, and then, of course, how they will influence everything that happens in the third game. So I really like the Witcher franchise as a whole. I think I told you guys when I read the books last year that I really enjoyed them and recommended them. I think Landon would like him in particular, too.
I've started the first book.
The Last Wish.
Mm-hmm. It's still on my to-play list. Like I need to start over on the PS5 for the PS5 version because I think from what I heard, it plays and runs a lot better for The Witcher 3. But it would be my third time restarting Witcher 3. I've started it, stopped, started it, got farther, got to the Red Baron quest, and stopped.
I don't know how you stopped at the Red Baron. Like that stuff was so interesting.
Oh man, that's so good.
Did you finish his quest?
I think I finished the Red Baron quest or close to it. I needed to find his family.
So maybe you didn't finish the Red Baron quest.
I think I got close to finishing it.
Where are they?
But I know I can't.
I just remember the last time you were playing and like you were talking about like, yeah, I found this big tree and everything, and Landon and I were like, oh,
yeah. I can't remember what I chose. I think I decided to kill the tree or whatever.
Man. Okay. Well. Anyway, we're running a little late. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up?
Oh yeah, just really quick.
On my GoFundMe for my hip surgery.
No, shut up.
Your GoFundMe
I
so that we can buy a Firewatch and play it and watch Will's video.
I have been playing, and that's been really fun.
Wait, can you say that you've been playing what?
Final Fantasy 16.
Persona.
It's weird. Just sorry, it made me think of fantasy, and I'm like,
Is that the
Final
the new angsty one?
It is angsty, and the pacing is awful. It makes me so mad. There's the coolest, biggest, giant, like massive battles, massive cinematic battles. And then you'll do fetch quests for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then you'll start building back up to this really cool stuff. And then it just throws down the roadblocks. But anyway, it's just irritating. I just wanted to say that we're still working my way through it, and I'm excited to give my full thoughts on it once I finish it because it's a little controversial. So.
Your thoughts are controversial, or the game is?
The game is. My thought. I don't know what my thoughts are. I'm only like I think I'm like 65% of the way through it or something like that. That was what PlayStation 5 tells me. And anything PS5 tells me, I take as fact. So.
Duh.
Anyway,
I haven't played much lately, but I'll be playing more. Out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get through Disco Elysium. That's my goal. To beat that.
I am very excited for you to play that game.
I think I'm just gonna start over because I got
yeah. You were like 5 hours in. You probably don't remember what was going on exactly, and plus you would like. I think you had said that you had screwed yourself up too much with some of the decisions you made and some of your roles.
I actually think I think I had some really bad, like, I think I screwed myself, like, enough to where, like, it felt like the game wasn't progressing like how it was supposed to. Like, I felt like I
think what I ended up figuring out was that you needed to, like, progress the days so that you opened up another part of the map. But basically you probably have to, like, waste an entire day of, like, not doing anything. In order to do that, because like the other section of the map only opens after a certain day, basically.
Oh, okay.
Man, that game is
that game's awesome. Yeah.
Did you ever beat that game, Will?
No, unfortunately not. I need to finish
it was a little too red for Will.
Yeah.
New Landon would be a big fan of.
See, here's the thing.
Ethical consumption.
See, my dad said, "Oh, communism. That's a little."
Oh yeah.
Don't like
Back
that.
To Star Trek.
I'm like, bad.
And Landon's like, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week and hear about all the movies and video games that Landon has been playing and watching since he'll be on bed rest, dealing with all his bed sores and whatnot. And then Colby and I can talk about all the cool roller coasters that we went on.
Yeah, you guys can talk about cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Will can talk about how he went skydiving.
Yeah.
You could just go. You could probably just go next week by yourself if you wanted to.
I would go with someone jumping with you.
Or maybe you could take a girl.
No, I meant like a tandem person. Like, don't go by yourself. Like you.
But maybe you could take a girl.
We'll just.
I don't have a girlfriend, so I can't take it.
Well, by next week, Will have a girlfriend, and he will have Doven.
Divin.
Yeah.
Skydiving.
Skydiving.
I'm Guy Divot.
Dividome.
How big of a divot do you think it would make in like a field?
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Have a great week, everybody.
You and the instructor pile of goo together.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Splat.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Castbox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.